solving our story problems. And remember, we have 4 steps in that we use to solve our story problems. So step 1 is we have to figure out the operation, meaning are we adding or subtracting? And then step 2, we have to write our sentence stem, which helps us understand what the question is asking us. Then step 3, we have our visual representation. We have our blocks, we have our squares or rectangles that tells us what is what, and we get our numbers together and our fact families come along. And then step 4 is that we are going to solve our problem. So let's look at this one. It says Miss Sparks had 9 pencils. Ahmad gave her 5 more pencils. How many pencils does Miss Sparks have altogether? All right, step 1, we got to figure out the operation. Let's get inside of our problem. We got to put ourselves in the problem. Okay, so Miss Sparks had 9 problems. And then Ahmad, who was so nice, came along and gave her 5. So if Miss Sparks had 9 pencils and Ahmad gave her 5, would she have more pencils or less pencils? Right, she would have more pencils, just like if Miss Sparks gave, for example, Heaven 5 more cookies, you would have more cookies, which is always a greater thing, or candy. So I have more, which means I am going to add. So Miss Sparks, she's going to add, insert, just so we know, Miss Sparks, she is going to insert her shape of adding. Let's go down. So we are adding. So I'm going to say we are adding. And I'm going to move that down here. It is thinking. So we are adding. Our next step is we have to write our sentence stem. So our sentence stem helps us understand what the question is asking. So all we're doing is restating our question. We're just turning it into a sentence instead of a question. So let us go to here. We're going to add this is our step 2. So how many pencils does Miss Sparks have all together? So the way that I can redo this so that it is a sentence. So Miss Sparks has, and I don't know how many I have all together yet, has blank all together. So I got to figure out what that blank is. So that was my step 2. So I'm going to have my first step. Let's have my first step in. Miss Sparks is going to draw in her first step. She's going to label these just so it's easier. So sorry, Miss Sparks, you got to be patient with Miss Sparks as she's doing it on the screen. There we go. So step 2, we have our sentence stem. So Miss Sparks has blank all together. So we got to figure out all together. Now, let's look at what we have, because we're going to do our visual representation, which is our boxes and stuff that are showing our symbols. Remember, symbols are just objects that are, symbols are objects that represent something else, that are showing us something else. So Miss Sparks has 9 pencils. All right, here we go. Miss Sparks is going to show this. Where is our rectangle? So here we go. She has 9 pencils. Here are my 9 pencils. All right, so Ahmad gave her 5 more. So here we go. Miss Sparks is going to do a smaller one of these because why is she doing a smaller one of those, do we think? You guys are so smart because 5 is smaller than 9. So here we go. Miss Sparks is going to move this down so you can see that goes together. So she had 9. So we have 9 right here, and Miss Sparks is going to draw this in so you can see. So we have 9 here. We have 9 here. So this is what she had right here. That's what she had. And then Ahmad gave her 5. So how many is this all together? All together. So when we put those together, Miss Sparks has got to make this just a little bit more higher. There we go. All together, she has how many? How many? So remember, we're adding these together. So we're adding these together. So here is our solving part. Here is our solving part. Let's go into our draw. Thank you guys for being so patient as she's trying to show each and every one of these steps. So I put these two numbers together because that is our adding, and here we go with solving. So you can choose, again, whatever strategy that we have used. So we can use our number line, we can draw pictures, we can use our fingers, we can count on. So using whatever strategy that you want to use, and Miss Sparks is going to be using her fingers and counting on. So she has 9, and then she's going to start counting up and getting to 5, counting up 5. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So that is my number equals 14. So this is my number all together, and Miss Sparks is going to put that up here. And look at that. So we have created our fact family as well, because remember, 14 is at the top, and we have 9 plus 5 is 14, which is what we just did. 5 plus 9 is also, I'm going to put that plus sign right here. And then our takeaway sign would go 14 take away 5 is 9, and 14 take away 9 equals 5. All right, now we got to go back into our sentence stem and we have to solve our problem. So Miss Sparks we solved our problem here. We're putting that number up here. 14 all together. Whew, that's a lot of steps for solving one problem, but guess what? It organizes our thoughts. So those are our 4 steps all together. So we have our operation, meaning addition or subtraction, and we knew that it was addition because Ahmad gave me 5 more. He gave me 5 more, so I have more. Then we have our sentence stem, which is just for restating, saying our question, but putting it in a sentence. So how many pencils does Miss Sparks have? Miss Sparks has blank altogether. And then we created our symbol for our pencils, which is our blocks right here. So 9, and then we had 5, which is what Ahmad gave. And then we have our 4th step here, which is solving. So 9 plus 4, because we knew it was plus, because we knew it up here, equals 14. And we had to put that in our answer into our sentence stem as well. All right, let's do another one. We're going to be using the same numbers, so we're going to really see how our fact families really come into play. All right, so Miss Sparks is going to have her steps here. So 1, 2, and then we're going to have 3, and then we have 4. Maybe 4. There we go. Okay, so Miss Sparks had 9 pencils. Ahmad gave her some more pencils. Now Miss Sparks has 14 pencils. How many did Ahmad give her? All right, we have to figure out what the problem is asking, our operation. That's step number 1. Okay, so Miss Sparks had 9 pencils. Ahmad gave her some more pencils. Okay, so we don't know that number. We don't know how many that Ahmad gave me. So now Miss Sparks has 14. Okay, so let's think this through. If I added 9 to 14, I would get more pencils. But they're asking how many did Ahmad give me? They're asking how many did Ahmad give me, not how many more that I have to add. So 9 plus 14 really would not make any sense. So let's think about this. When someone gives you some out of the 14, you got to figure out what that is. So what do you think? Is this addition or is it subtraction? So we already talked about that adding those two numbers would really not make sense. So yeah, it's our subtraction. So let's get our subtraction because that is right here, our first step. Because we got to think through, does this make sense? If I said to add, I would have to add 9 and 14 when they already tell me what I'm ending with. I'm already ending with my 14. So I got to do 14 and 9 and I got to subtract that. All right, next step. Here we go. We got to create our sentence stem. And our sentence stem. All right, so it's asking me how many did Ahmad give her? So how many pencils did Ahmad give her, meaning Miss Sparks? So I restate this. How can we restate this as a sentence? Right, so Ahmad gave Miss Sparks blank amount of pencils. That's how we're going to rephrase that because we don't know how many yet. You might be thinking, Miss Sparks, we kind of already solved this problem before. Oh, I love how you're thinking on that. So Ahmad gave Miss Sparks blank amount of pencils. That's what we have to figure out. Okay, now the fun part. Miss Sparks loves doing this visualization, so using our numbers. So we got to pick out our numbers out from our story problem, because story problems and math, you have to use numbers. Okay, so we talked about using our visual representation, which is our step 3, which is just showing and using our numbers, but we're just using our visualization. Okay, so Miss Sparks is going to start with 14 at the top. So she's going to start with 14, and she's just going to draw the number on top. So, oops, maybe. So 14. So that is the number that she has, or that I have now. So let's look at that. So Miss Sparks has 14, and she is going to erase because she got a little excited and put that 4. So she had 14. So I have 14 pencils. All right, here's my question. How many did I have? How many did I have already? How many did I have already? Yes, I had 9 pencils already. So let's get our shape in. So Miss Sparks had 9 pencils already. So I'm going to put 14 at the top, and I'm going to have my 9 pencils already. So I had my 9 pencils, which go down here. So I have my 9 pencils right here, but that's my whole of 14 right here. So where is my 9? Insert. Let's get my 9 in. Oh, thank you guys. I know you guys are being so super patient as I am drawing all this in. So here we go. This is my 9. And then, so my whole of 14. So I have this question over here that Ahmad gave her how many more pencils? How many pencils did Ahmad give me? Oh, that's my question that I'm asking. So here we go. We have this little blank right here. And remember, it's going to be smaller because we got to figure this out. Okay, so this is my unknown. This is what I don't know right now. This is what I don't know. So I have my all of 14. So this represents all of my 14. And then I have my 9, which is this little box right here. And this is what I don't know. This is what I have to figure out. Okay, but Miss Sparks, look, we already figured out that it was take away. So 14 take away 9. So 14 take away 9. All right, so we got to go to our next step, which is, oh, I can already draw. Our next step is to solve. Our next step is to solve. So this is what we're trying to figure out. This is our question of how many did Ahmad give her, meaning Miss Sparks. So Ahmad gave Miss Sparks how many pencils? That is what we are solving right now. So we're going to take 14 because we can't take 9 away, or sorry, there we go. We're going to go here. So we have 14 take away 9, and we got to figure that out. So 14 take away 9. If we had 9 here, we couldn't take away 14 from that. And we know from our fact families that we go from the top as well. So 14, and then we have our take away 9. Okay, so let's do our counting out and drawing. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And we're taking away, let's Miss Sparks use a different color. We're taking away 9. So we're slashing out 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 left. Ooh, that number sounds very familiar. That number sounds very familiar. So our question mark right here is our 5 as we solved our problem. So Ahmad gave Miss Sparks 5 pencils. So Miss Sparks gave Ahmad gave Miss Sparks 5 pencils because we started with our big number, all together, and then Miss Sparks, we knew that I only had 9, and then we had to figure out what he gave me. So if we look at our fact family right here, look at this. So it's the same thing that we use. So we have our fact family again. So Ms. Marks wanted to show you how our fact families kind of come together. Now know that we're always not going to have the same problems with the same numbers, but on your Jamboard, you're just going to solve one word problem, or story problem, excuse me, they're stories. So one story problem is all that you are going to do, and you are going to use all 4 of our steps. So remember, the first step is to find out which operation, are we adding or subtracting? Our second step is you have to figure out what the question is asking and put a blank there because that's what we're trying to figure out. Number 3 is that you're making your numbers, but you're using symbols to represent them. So we're using our boxes to represent them. And then 4 is you're solving it. And don't forget to put that number back in that you solve right here. So that is going to be what you are going to do on your Jamboard.